shooting deaths of 5 fellow service members at Camp Liberty in Baghdad is now speaking out for the very first time.
You never know what triggers it. You just know that they're under a lot of stress, and he didn't know how to handle it, I guess. We didn't expect this, you know. We thought maybe he'd get killed, but we never dreamed in our wildest dreams that something like this would happen.
44-year-old Sergeant John Russell is described as being on his 3rd deployment in Iraq. He's being charged right now with 5 counts of murder and 1 count of aggravated assault. The incident brings to light the issue of combat stress and the mental health of our servicemen and women. And joining us now is Jon Soltz, co-founder and chairman of VoteVets.org. John, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously these details are heartbreaking, and you see the father of this soldier on his 3rd tour trying to, like everyone else, understand what's happening here. But what are your first thoughts here? I mean, this is a 44-year-old. He's not a young man here, but still on his 3rd tour.
Well, obviously we don't have all the facts here, but
right.
Combat stress is something that the Department of the Army is very interested in. We've had a tremendous rise in suicides over the past several years. We do know that this soldier came from an engineer battalion out of Germany. He'd been in Iraq for 12 months this time on a 15-month deployment. And, you know, I think, you know, this 3-tour thing, I mean, we don't know exactly where he's been. He could have been in Kuwait. He could have been in Qatar. I mean, a soldier who spent, you know, 4 months or 5 months or 6 months in Mahmudi or Fallujah or Baghdad is going to have a different experience than someone in Kuwait. So we don't have all the details. We do know that this is probably combat stress related, and it's something the Department of the Army is really looking at. But I think it's important for people to understand is we haven't seen a lot of murders. We really haven't. What we've seen is a lot of suicides. And I don't want people to have the fear that, you know, a veteran who served in Iraq and they're going to start blowing people away, because we just haven't seen a lot of cases like this in the 8 years of combat.
And that's why it is such shocking news, because it is rare to happen. We're told that the soldiers there are trained to look for signs with one another and reach out to help if they see someone in need. And I think that is why it's still a headline today, because it is so rare. So folks are trying to understand what can be done to help these men and women if they need it.
Yeah, we've seen some real issues. I mean, we have a medicated army today. We got a lot of soldiers over there on Prozac. It's because we didn't have enough troops to fight the type of war the Bush administration wanted to fight. You know, we have the smallest percentage ever that served in this war of any war in American history, so like only 1% of the population. So the combat stress is a huge issue, but it looks like from everything that I've seen in the open source that the unit did the right stuff. The unit took him to the combat health clinic. The unit took his weapon away, and that's a huge deal in a combat zone. When you're on a FOB in Iraq or Afghanistan, you have to carry a personal weapon. So it looked like the command was trying to do the right stuff and get him to help. And so before anyone puts blame on the military or that command, I just think they need to be very calm and look at this. This could just be an isolated incident of a soldier who committed murder.
Well, what is to be learned? Is that the big message that you and other veterans want to have folks learn from this as we again try to understand here?
Well, I think the first thing I want people to understand is just because you know someone who served in Iraq doesn't mean they're going to behave in this capacity, because we haven't seen a lot of it. And I think the second thing people need to understand is the Army's done a lot. If you go to an Army unit today or a Guard Reserve unit, I mean, there's standouts on suicide, on these mental health issues. The Army's done a lot to mitigate the risk for suicides. But until you deal with the op-tempo issue of guys going to Iraq 3, 4, 5 times, 15-month deployments, multiple combat, very few people in this society serving in a military that's way overextended, in places like Iraq, you're not going to deal with the heart of the issue. The heart of the issue is the overextension and the op-tempo.
All right, thank you very much, John, for reacting to the latest news on this as they do try to investigate, as you pointed out, not to place blame, but to place understanding and to give the help to those men and women who need it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congressman